The Second Amendment is absolute, and it's here to stay. A recent report states that Americans own 46% of the world's guns. I think we need to get our numbers up, boys and girls.
Those comments from Colorado Republican Lauren Boebert come as we are getting the first federal gun report in 20 years. It shows that even legally purchased guns are being used in crimes more quickly than ever. Let's discuss with Ryan Busse, a former firearms executive who helped build one of the world's most iconic gun companies. He's now a senior advisor at the gun safety organization Giffords, and he wrote the book Gunfight: My Battle Against the Industry That Radicalized America. Ryan, I'm glad you're here. First things first, people in this country care a ton about guns. Why has it been 20 years since a report like this one?
Well, the industry, thanks for having me, Stephanie. And the industry has done a very good job of fighting against any sort of data collection. You know, it's quite possible that we know more about Nike shoes that are sold in the country than we do about how many like assault weapons are sold. I'm often asked about what sort of data collection systems exist for assault weapons or this sort of 9mm pistol. And the truth is, we don't know. And we don't know because at every turn, the NRA and the industry that I used to be a part of has fought the sort of scientific data collection that's necessary to form good policy. And so here we are sort of fumbling around trying to form good policy.
And as we fumble around, many states are loosening their gun laws. You are a gun owner. Does permitless carry worry you?
Yeah, so I am a gun owner, and I hunt and shoot with my boys every chance I get. And yet I'm also a big proponent of what responsible gun owners believe are reasonable restrictions to make sure that bad people don't have guns and do bad things. And we're now in the neighborhood of about 25 or 26 states. Florida, Ron DeSantis is trying to become the next to enact permitless concealed carry, which means you have a gun, you can carry it concealed wherever without any kind of permit, without any kind of background check, without any kind of sort of reasonable restriction on what is a very immensely powerful freedom, right? The freedom to carry guns as enumerated in the Second Amendment. There's a lot of debate about what that means, but that comes with an immense sort of responsibility. And this idea that we can just do it willy-nilly with no restriction, with no permit, with no check, that's craziness. No responsible firearms owner believes that that's the way to go. And yet here we are.
Well, let's talk about Congress, because on what planet do we think we are going to get federal gun reform when Republicans today rejected a ban on carrying guns in a committee room, yesterday. So no, they want to have the right that they can carry a gun in a committee.
Well, if you really want to be in a room with Lauren Boebert and Matt Gaetz carrying guns, excuse me, but I think we've got some problems, right? I don't know where we're headed. I know that this sort of symbolic, like in the same week, we have the reality that American flag lapels have been replaced with AR-15 lapels by some of the people in Congress. I don't quite know how to enumerate how crazy this is, but this is not where decent, responsible, freedom-loving, patriotic Americans are. This may be where the far fringe of the Republican Party is, but they are so far out of the mainstream that it's really tough to enumerate.
So far out of the mainstream, but they're doing it. They are wearing pins under the American flag styled after an AR-15. There is now a gun styled like an AR-15, shrunk down, marketed to kids.
Yeah, so that's the JR-15, right? That instead of an AR-15, that's a JR-15, meaning the Junior 15. And for a long time in the industry, and for a lot of my history in the gun community, you could walk into a gun store or a gun show, a gun trade show, and know you could see exactly what every single gun category was about. There was the target guns, there were the hunting guns, there were the self-defense guns. But I don't quite know where you put these JR-15s and all of the sort of paramilitary gear that we see now. It's as if we're trying to glorify an idea of taking down America, of this sort of authoritarian idea of using guns to intimidate people and to tear apart our political system, and then of course all the terrible spillover effects that come from that. And that's just not that's just so far out of the mainstream. Sadly, it's right in the mainstream of the Republican Party, but it's so far out of the mainstream of America that it's really tough to absorb it.
Out of the mainstream of America and being worn in the halls of Congress. Ryan Busse, thank you so much for making us smarter and safer. I appreciate you joining us.